estate experts, listings for homes are down 25% compared to this time last year. So that means lots of people are out there, they're looking for homes, but they're having trouble finding those for sale signs.
Yeah, so if you put an offer in on your dream home, you really need to make that stand out. Joining us via Skype with advice on how to do just that from DeRoche Realty Group and eXp Realty, it's Julie and Daniel DeRoche back with us again. Hi, guys.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
All right, so timing. Julie, you say you've got to get your offer in early. How early are we talking?
As early as possible. You want to get into that house within even hours sometimes of it coming on the market. And I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but they're going fast. And you don't know if the sellers are going to wait to take a bunch of offers and wait a couple days, or they could take the first offer they get if it's really good. So being that first offer in could really help your situation.
So it's not good enough to have a realtor who says, oh yeah, that's going on the market on Friday, but I'm out of town for the long weekend, and so we can try to get you in on Monday. You got to make sure that your realtor is committed to saying, let's move and groove.
Yeah, get you in there, or they have a team they work with that if they're busy, they can have someone else meet you there. But getting in, first and foremost, even before you put an offer in, if you don't get in there quickly and get your offer in, it doesn't matter what your offer's like.
Yeah.
All right, now, Daniel, this isn't the sexiest part of the home buying process, but it's very important. You have got to get pre-approved. Tell us why that's so important.
It's not even just being pre-approved. It's being pre-approved with an exceptional lender who is reachable, because if you can't reach the lender, because sometimes the seller's realtor is going to call to talk to the lender, and if they can't reach them, they're no good. And then you want to have someone that actually includes a property-specific pre-approval letter, not just a generic one that says you're approved to purchase a home one day. And it just has to be solid. And if you can do conventional financing instead of FHA, that makes it even better. Well, cash is always king, but from a financing standpoint, conventional, strong, property-specific, reachable lender.
Because sellers want to see that the lender that you're using knows that this is exactly the house. This is the price point. This is the amount of dollars that it's worth, not just, oh, sure, somewhere down the line they are approved. Okay, let's talk about making your offer as clean as possible, Julie. What does that mean? I mean, I don't think we want coffee stains on it, but are there other things to think about?
No, I mean, like, you don't want it to be contingent upon selling your house. You don't want, if you can avoid it, try not to ask for closing costs. You know, that is a really big thing that can kind of muddy up an offer if you're asking the seller to pay your closing costs.
But closing costs used to be, Julie, it used to be the norm though, right? We would always hear about, like, you wanted to kind of, everybody feels like they want to win a little bit in the home buying process. And so if you can get the seller to cover closing costs, I feel like that used to be the norm. Has that officially changed?
It has, yeah, because you're going up against so many other offers and a lot of people aren't asking for closing costs. So that property has to appraise at the purchase price. So if you're putting the closing costs on top, then it's going to have to appraise plus those closing costs. So they're going to take an offer that doesn't have closing costs that may be the same price in their pocket.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the appraisal contingency that you say, if you really want to have a strong offer, you say, we'll waive that?
Yeah, so for example, if the appraisal came in low on the property, and that would be an out for you, the buyer, if the appraisal came in low for your financing. Well, you can waive that and tell the seller that even if the appraisal comes in low, we're not going to cancel our offer. We'll make the difference up in cash and put that down on our mortgage, but we're not going to back out due to the appraisal.
Oh, I would like that. If I was a seller, I would like to hear the buyer saying those kind of things. All right, now, Daniel, why don't you explain what an escalation clause is and how that can be really advantageous if you really want that home?
They work really well. I actually had 5 offers come in on a listing today already.
Wow.
And they're all great offers, but one of them has an escalation clause that's a certain dollar amount over any other pre-approved non-contingent offer.
Oh.
We always recommend 1%. So let's just say it's a $400,000 house and everybody agrees it's worth $400,000. But the seller or the buyer's willing to pay $420, $430, whatever the number is, but you don't want to pay 20 grand more or 30 grand more than you have to. So you put that you'll pay 1% more than any other pre-approved non-contingent offer up to $430,000 or $440,000. So if another offer gets accepted at, or another the other best offer is $420,000, you'd get it for $424,000. Just a nice clean way of doing it. The biggest challenge is though, a lot of the seller's agents don't understand how it works. So you need to have a buyer's agent that knows how it works really well, that can get a hold of the seller's agent and explain it in detail. Otherwise, it just seems to confuse people. So a lot of understanding going on there.
Oh gosh. Okay, one more note before we go, Julie. We want to know about this idea of writing a love letter, that this actually works, that this is not appealing to the purse strings, this is appealing to the heartstrings.
It works all the time. It's putting a real person or family or couple behind that offer, so it's just not an offer. And complimenting the seller on the house and what they've done with it and how they've maintained it over the years really helps. People love getting compliments on their houses. And then also trying to connect with them on something. So maybe they had a tree house in the backyard and you had a tree house in the house you grew up in, and you put in the letter that you want your kids to experience growing up in a house with a tree house.
We've seen people accept $5,000 less on a house. Yep. Just because they were emotional about the buy, which is great, but
yeah, maybe you wouldn't advise it, but hey, I'm sure that the buyer in that case would be very excited.
That's
Julie,
great.
Daniel, we love it when you guys come on. Really good information there. Did you know, you at home, that Julie and Daniel are ready to help you make your offer stand out?
Go to TwinCitiesLive.com, click on Fun for their contact information, and a big thanks to DeRoche Realty Group and eXp Realty for sponsoring Twin Cities Live. Okay, put your